Hello, everyone. My name is Kristin Harris,
And I am Micaela Maisie.
and this is the first episode of the Salem Supernatural Society. So, we would like to welcome you on this crazy journey with us and talk to you a little bit about why we are deciding to embark on this journey and this podcast together and this web series, and just sort of introduce you to ourselves and what we do. So, Micaela, how did you get involved in the paranormal? Tell us about yourself.
Alrighty. Well, I grew up down in Virginia. A lot of haunted stuff down there, a lot of history. My mom was on a paranormal team as I was growing up, as well as spending a lot of time on my grandmother's farm. That was extremely active, due to it being like a past plantation.
Where in Virginia?
In Westmoreland County.
Westmoreland County. Don't know if I've ever been there,
It's
but
the northern neck. It's
ooh.
an interesting little place. But I grew up being super into the paranormal, seeing my mom do it, reading a ton of books about it, going off on my own with friends. Yeah, I never joined a team until I moved up here. Definitely wanted to get more into it due to the history of Salem and it being such a passion.
Like you do, yeah.
Yes, as you do. And then hearing, I guess, more exciting stories and experiences from bigger people. And I was like, I want to be a part of that. I want those experiences. I want the structure, all of that. Joined team, left team, and now I'm here.
Okay.
Still investigating.
Yeah, you are.
With great people.
Yeah, and it's sort of the same for me. So I started investigating in high school. Grew up in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, which there's a ton of Revolutionary War history.
Yep.
And there's a ton of haunted places. I grew up near Penn Manor, which is one of the oldest like mansions in the US. So it's 1600s, stone mansions, really cool. So, I grew up kind of like you, probably hearing about all the haunted places around me, wanting to investigate them. I was very into, the shows at the time. So like Scariest Places on Earth, Ghost Hunters, very into all that. And then when I moved up here for my master's degree, when I moved up for Salem, I had kind of put that aside, but then my thesis path sort of led me to meeting a team, like meeting a paranormal team, meeting some really good people in the paranormal. And I know we said no names, but I will say this person's name because he's wonderful. So shout out to Tim Weisberg. He was one of the first people I met.
So Tim.
Love him. And I ended up meeting another team through him, getting involved, helping plan like Salem Con for like 3 years when it was here. And then ended up leaving for work stuff and just not having a lot of time in general, a lot of other reasons, which I'm sure we'll eventually get into. And then I met Micaela and some other people on the previous team that I was also on and have now left. And I realized like how much I love it. And I think that's sort of the crux of why we're here. And we decided to start this podcast because I think I can speak for anyone that's involved in the paranormal to say that you have this, idea of what it's going to be when you come into it for whatever reason you come into it. And you meet people, you meet more people, you sort of get started, and then stuff happens and you go off on your own path, which is what has led us to forming the Salem Supernatural Society.
I also think it's interesting because going through certain teams and experiences, when you have negative experiences, you keep quiet about it because you're like, oh, is it only me? And then when we met on our previous team, it's like, holy shit, it's not just me. And I think that that's where we've bonded and it's given us, I think it's kind of like reignited the passion a little bit.
It has for me, it really has.
Yeah, same. And I'm super happy to be here.
Me too. All right, so let's talk a little bit about sort of what exactly this is. So of course, Micaela and I, now you know our background. I moved to Salem almost 12 years ago. You moved here how long ago?
Almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years,
ago.
yeah. So you've been here a while. And yeah, and I would say that being in Salem, especially, you do get into this world very, very quickly. And you do sort of meet a lot of people involved in the paranormal, supernatural, mediumship, whatever sort of realm that you want to fall in,
Right.
because there's lots of different realms. And so when Micaela and I, on a long trek back from the great state of New Jersey,
Went through highway hypnosis,
Highway-
getting through this long drive.
we decided, and sharing our experiences about the paranormal and sharing sort of a lot of our viewpoints and talking to a lot of people at that con we were at, that there's a lot in the paranormal that I think people don't talk about, because you do have this preconceived notion of how it is.
It's
And
like ghost hunters.
it's like
Everybody's
ghost
having fun
hunters,
and
yeah.
things are flying across the floor and everybody's friends and
Yeah, and so we wanted to start this to take you guys on investigations, sort of share our perspectives on evidence and everything like that, because I mean, you know, there are lots of debates about what evidence is, who the experts are. Are there experts? I will say no.
can you get a degree
Yeah.
online from a PowerPoint?
And all sorts of things with the paranormal that you might have been like wondering about, for people who have been involved in this for a really long time. I mean, both of us over 10, 15 years.
Mhm.
So we wanted to kind of get together and do a couple things. One, share our results from investigations. We are going on one. Where are we going in February?
We are going to the good old Isaac Morse house. I have personally been there, and when I tell you guys, it is the most active place I have legally been to. I have
That is
legally been
true.
to,
Yeah.
and it is.
There's that too.
We're excited. We will be, I think, making episodes or an episode for every investigation we do, but we will be doing an episode there because we are staying 2 nights in a row, which will be exciting. So we'll do episodes for every investigation. We want to go through the history. We want to go through the evidence, show you guys the evidence. But we will also have some different kinds of episodes as well to share the misconceptions, experiences that we think should be brought to light, because it's the paranormal community is very don't ask, don't tell, with a lot of negative things such as like harassment, sexual harassment,
taking credit for others' work. I mean, it's if you've been any field where
Yes.
information is shared and it is a community, like you said, you're gonna run into that in basically any community. But we both feel that with the paranormal, there are certain things that are repeating patterns. And so, we're going to try and get into that. And so one of the other ways we're going to do that is we call it scratching our icks, our paranormal icks. So as we go on this journey, we want you guys who are watching and listening to, share your experiences with us. Send us a message, comment on social media posts that you see. If we start talking about something that has happened to you personally, we want you to share that experience. We're also going to have people on here with us eventually that have had these experiences. We're going to have other people in the field sort of talk about this in their way. And just sort of bringing these things to light is the point.
It is. We, especially as women in the paranormal field, are treated, I've found, in an unfair and uncomfortable way. And me personally, I have been asked to keep quiet, for somebody to not spread a false narrative. I cannot say what has happened to me and what has been said and done. And I just think that that's very unfair. So here we are to do exactly that, is to make it kind of a safe space again. And be able to talk about what we're told we're not allowed to talk about. This should be a safe community, especially we are doing these things in such a vulnerable state. We are meant to be comfortable with the people that we are with. We are all joining different types of people from different worlds and, just everything, backgrounds, for one common interest with many different goals. It should be a safe space.
It should indeed. So, so buckle up. We're going to get going here. I think that we've been very vague on this, and it may seem to anyone watching or listening that we're being a little vague on what exactly those topics are. And that's because, this is episode 1. So this is us sort of just giving you our mission statement, which is, as the Salem Supernatural Society, to really dig into a lot of these issues in the paranormal community. Because for me personally, as a historian and someone who sort of takes a scientific approach to this, Micaela takes a very different approach, but also very scientific, which I appreciate. But Micaela takes a very different approach. And I think that's why the two of us like to investigate together, is because we have these different kinds of feedback. We come together, we see where that goes. And I think the same is going to be said for the Scratching the Ick episodes. We might have different viewpoints, we might have different experiences, but at the end of the day, they all connect into a larger problem, which is that these issues involving women, involving the sharing of work, involving, the backstabbing and the pettiness, it all comes back to one goal. And that is that in the paranormal, our goal should be to delve into, the topics that we're all interested in, the mediumship, the evidence, the cryptids, whatever you're into in the paranormal. The goal is to find the evidence. The goal is to share the information. And
to
often,
enjoy
and to
it.
enjoy it. And so that being said, we don't want you guys to think this is going to be like a negative shit talking podcast. It's not. It's just calling things as we see them, and talking about it, and making this a safe space to have these conversations.
I do want to say,
Yeah.
think I'm most excited for the difference of opinion and difference of how we see things, because this is going to show people that it's healthy
It is healthy.
in friendships, relationships, coworkers, being on a team, anything, to have differences of opinions, to be able to respect, even if you don't understand the other person's,
Right.
and not have it be seen as being argumentative or causing issues,
Right.
or, oh no, that's not, no,
That's not
sit
how
down.
we do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and just really be able to, listen to each other and try to gain a new perspective and show that, like, you can do that without it being some wild
You
freaking
can.
experience.
So I think, Micaela, for our first episode, since we kind of gave you guys our mission statement, I think one of the icks that I would like to scratch in the paranormal is the idea of experts. I think that's the word. I think that's the word that, like, and I've been on investigations with lots of different investigators. I've been to a lot of different places. You have as well. One of the best pieces of advice that I have ever been given is that there are no experts in the paranormal.
Yeah.
And I think that's very true, because it is a very metaphysical sort of thing that we're all exploring, that we are still trying to actually find evidence for.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, like, we've all seen lots of different compelling things and different phenomena, but at the end of the day, we're all still trying to accomplish the same thing, which is to find that evidence and really dig into what that is, whether that be an EVP, whether it be a video, whether it be, a bunch of different things happening at once on an investigation and things like that. So
And that takes so much time too, because you have to think every location's different. Every location has its own history. Every spirit, whether it be intelligent, non-intelligent, like residual, whatever, they're all different people, different energies. Everybody's going to be different. Every experience is going to be so different. They're going to manifest in different ways. And
exactly.
It's investigating all these different ways of manifestation of whatever energies are out there. And you have to think it takes so long to try and get evidence of all of it.
It does. And then to, like, crunch it into, okay, well, is this electric energy? Is this kind of energy? There's just so much that goes into it. It's a continued conversation. I always like to tell people, like, it's not McDonald's. It's not like drive through ding dong, here's the ghost. It does the same thing every time. Yeah. If it's a residual haunting, like, maybe you're going to get that. But, like, I think a lot of people have this idea that they're going to walk into a place, that it's going to be like Ghost Hunters. It's going to be action, 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 action. And of course, for anybody that's in the paranormal, it's a lot of you sitting in the dark for hours on end talking to yourselves. And
all those snippets of evidence that you see, and all those exciting things, you see them, bam, bam, bam. In the shows, you see the evidence posted on social media, and you think that that's continuous. There are countless investigations that I've been on, that we've even been on together, that
Nothing.
happens. Um,
And that can be like time to time too. Like you can go to a location like Houghton Mansion, I think in North Adams
mhm.
is my favorite example of that, where it's like, you can go one time and everything's popping off. There's this, that, and the other thing. And then
Yeah,
you can go and you're sitting there in the dark overnight. And that's the cool part.
that's why I'm so excited for you to go to the
I'm
Isaac Morris
so
house because when
excited.
I tell you there
Ah,
was no shortage. This is the only location that I've ever been like scared to sleep at.
I'm
And we stayed at the
excited.
Conjuring house. And
We
like,
did, yeah, which was very comfortable actually. I
well,
like
see, I
staying
still
there.
had to get walked to the bathroom in the middle of the night to pee because it hit 3 a.m. And I was like, listen, I'm not walking through the Conjuring house all the way downstairs, around the corner, and
It's just best to
whatever.
not mess with it, yeah.
In a bathroom where there's like windows facing each other. Like, I'd rather just not go by
Well,
myself.
and a bathroom where like a lot of the activity happened in the house.
Yes, I just,
That
but
was the scary part for me, was going to the bathroom in the middle of the night. Yeah.
yeah, but
By myself.
the Isaac Morris house, I think, is going to
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm
blow
really
your
excited.
mind.
And the Isaac Morse house is in Gardner, right?
No, it's
No,
in
it's in
Winchendon.
Winchendon. Oh, so it's like
Yeah,
right next
and
door.
it's north of Gardner, I believe.
Okay.
And it is the Toy City. There, the whole first floor is an
Okay.
antique, like rocking horse museum. There's antiques everywhere. It's really cool.
So cool. Lots of things can attach to. Perfect.
Yeah. It's the history is wild, but you'll have to really dig into that
Dig
because
into it.
when I was looking online, I didn't find a whole lot, even on their like society website. I didn't find a ton of information, but
Okay.
we did get a ton of evidence.
I know. I'm
So,
so excited.
take your
We
information, keep
won't.
your
Yeah,
secrets,
we won't
whatever.
we won't get into it now, and I will not tell you the history because one of the things that you do need to know about Micaela and I is we
Yes.
have a little bit of a system that we've agreed upon. So Micaela, I know that you have been working on your mediumship for a really long
Yes.
time. And you don't like to go in with a bias.
So I don't going into new places. I don't like to do walkthroughs. I don't like to do tours. I am okay to know like tiny bit of history.
Like
I
when it was built. Like
right. I don't want like to tell me like something like terrible happened here or there's children here or like whatever, small things like that. But I don't want to know how many people died here, how they died, what the horrible things were. I like to go in and have it be like super genuine, especially because I have studied
Mhm.
and worked hard on mediumship for years that I've really just like to hone in on that and write things down and see what comes up. But I think that that's going to be exciting because you are the opposite. You are very
Oh,
like
yeah.
research. You like to know the history. You like to know everything going into it, which will be exciting for the episodes we do because she will know everything about where we have been. And I will not know anything except for
What you're getting.
what we're getting while we're there. So our episodes about the investigations will be, our experiences, here's
Mhm.
the evidence, here's what I got from it,
Yeah.
and then she'll tell the history.
Yes.
And we'll
gonna be a
see how it
reveal.
all like connects.
Yeah, which I think is gonna be so fun. I'm so
Yeah.
excited to do this. I'm so excited to do this with you. Truly, like I'm not just saying this because we're doing episode 1, but no, like I really feel very good about this, and I feel
Mhm.
like the both of us are just coming at it with such unique perspectives and experience, and the want of making this feel better. And I think like that's the ultimate goal
And
is
wanting it
to,
to be kind of a
yeah.
glimmer of hope and breath of fresh air for other people that have gone through the experiences we have, similar ones, or the people that have just sat back and witnessed it and have been scared to say something, just to find comfort
Yeah,
in it
and that you
come along with
can and
us.
come along with us, and that you can, call these things out when you see them. Like the reason I brought up experts is because, one of the things that
Sorry, we went off on a little side.
That's okay. No, that's okay. No, because honestly, like this is what this is for. This is
Yeah.
episode 1. This is like sort of our laying the groundwork for what people can expect.
And everything we've been talking about.
Right. And
yeah.
So one of the reasons I bring up experts too, and it being so important to realize that I don't want to say there can't be experts in the paranormal, because I think there can be experts in research, there can be experts in history, there can be experts in like tech. Like, okay, so you know the equipment really well. Like that's great. Like you can have your niche area that you're like, this is my,
or if you've
this
actually
is my Roman
like,
Empire. I hate saying
studied
that.
something
Right. Like
for like years
yes.
and years, and you're,
But you
know,
cannot be an overall expert in the paranormal.
No.
It's impossible. It is an impossibility, if I'm being real.
But there are people that are misleading out there, because they do have these websites. They do have these things that catch your eye that
offer you
say,
degrees.
yes, from a PowerPoint in like a 2-day span of time. And that's, guys, it's bullshit. Let's be honest. And if anybody tells you that they have a degree in demonology, cryptozoology, just anything, we're not telling you how to feel about it, but be wary, because that kind of thing takes so much time and research. And don't even get me started on the demon thing.
Oh no,
But
that's gonna be
towards the
another
other
that's gonna be
thing-
another episode. That needs its own
You
episode.
guys, let's be real. Demons, though.
No, we're gonna get into the demonology and religious bias in the paranormal on another episode. But
you are right.
If
people claim that they're experts,
and I'm not trying to like yuck anybody's yum. If you want to go online, you want to take a course in cryptozoology, that's like, enjoy yourself. Have that awesome 2-day whatever, enjoy yourself. But don't go around, telling people that you now have an authority over them because you've done an online course.
And just a reminder that you're just down here and I'm up here, because
that's the destructive path that we don't want to do.
Founder, and I have got degrees. It's like, well, I have a degree on bullshit, and like when I tell you you're off the chart, like,
okay. But no, I will say, as someone that does have 2 degrees,
not in the paranormal,
not in the paranormal, that took me 15 years of work.
As they do.
And
because it's not even getting a certification. Like, this is a degree.
Yeah. And
there's a
and I digress too, because like I even tell people, like, even if you have 2 degrees in history, master's degree, whatever, you're still not done. Like, you don't just get your degree and check out.
But also, history is ever changing, ever evolving.
You're never done.
No, it's a constant thing, because you have to think, what, you started your journey to history how many years ago?
I mean, 2007.
Okay, but how much has happened since then?
Yeah, so much.
And and then like, you're still focusing on before then, but in 10 years from now, you're going to be looking back at 2007.
Correct.
Looking into things 20 years from now.
And the work's never done. And it's sort of the same for the paranormals. Like, yes, okay, so you got your online certification from ghostypops.com.
No, what was it? I
don't remember. I'm not gonna call any names out. That's another thing in this podcast. Like, we're not gonna call people's names out, because like the things are so similar that it could literally be anybody, and everybody's had similar experiences. So like, we're not gonna do the name calling. We're not gonna do the call out
experiences, the team names, the people we've dealt with in a negative tone. We, again, aren't up here to bash. We are up here to say our experiences that weren't ideal and are just not okay for anybody to have to go through, especially in this field. The only names that we will bring up are the positive people we have encountered. And, bigger names: Ghost Hunters, Project Fear, Cody and Satori, love them dearly.
God, love them.
Tim Weisberg. We'll talk about the happy, positive people, because they do deserve recognition.
They deserve recognition for being leaders in the field, and
and
positive leaders.
For also just being great people and not being sucked into, any of the craziness, especially Project Fear, with all that they had to deal with. Like, they have really turned their negative experience into a positive. And even just talking to them, I was so shocked at the amount of struggle and disappointment and poor treatment that they
Poor
go.
treatment.
And you
Poor
never
treatment.
think that some of these bigger people also go through the same thing. So kudos to fucking them.
They're the prime example. And like, and again, yeah, that goes back to what I was saying. Like, even these bigger name people, like when you hear about, women being treated differently in the field, one person who I know for a fact would be on, hopefully would be on this podcast if I asked her to, is Amanda Woomer, who owns Spook Eats and the Feminine Macabre magazine. And she started the Feminine Macabre because she was tired of the work of women getting discounted in the paranormal. That and women, I think, are kind of, in my eyes and the things that I've seen, we're always seen as like these cute accessories to the team. And like,
right,
that sounds shitty, but
cute,
like,
but your opinion just judge, because then you'll be argumentative. God forbid you have an idea or opinion, then like how
dare you?
Dare you sit down, be quiet.
But yeah, and like, and
put it in Discord.
Yeah, put it in Discord.
We're gonna get in trouble. It's fine.
It's fine.
No, because that's what we're doing here.
We're doing here.
We don't care. And that's the thing is like, we shouldn't be worried about speaking about terrible experiences that we've been through. We shouldn't feel guilty.
Right. Well, no, because
about that.
Well, because I think in the paranormal, everybody gets the sense that if you speak about some of these ways you've been treated, if you speak about some negative experiences, that you're just being negative.
And you're starting drama.
You're starting drama. And I think that like, that's like, we just went to the Para Unity conference, which was awesome. I mean, it was cool.
I enjoyed it. I
was in an old school. Like,
thoroughly enjoyed it.
I did too. Yeah.
We met some great people.
Yes, we did.
We hung out with friends.
Yeah.
From said
shout out to
team.
other Ryan and our other peeps we met. They were awesome. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes, they were fantastic. When I met other Ryan, because
we have him other Ryan.
We have a close Ryan friend that's has his own team in New Hampshire. He's great. We will be working a lot with him, but at Para Unity, at the VIP party, I met Brian and Sarah and just all these cool people, and it was like,
they were awesome. And like, that's the good side of the paranormal, right? And so, but you think about Para Unity, and I remember when Para Unity was first started. Like, I remember when that con was first started. Yeah. And it was this sort of big push for everybody to be no drama and be together, and that's all well and good. But like, the thing is like, one of the things I see with that, it's a good mission. It's a worthy mission, but it's only a mission if you actually do the thing within your own teams and the field at large.
Yes. Because so everybody is there with the same mission and the same passion. There are still a lot of people that are around that,
and they're kept around,
that visibly, even at said events, hush women, or we're just like wild, but we're friends in real life.
We are friends in real life.
We're friends, and this is my friend in real life.
But no, it's like, and it's one of those things that, anyway, thanks for like listening to our rambling thus far.
I do want to say something though, because I don't want people to think that like people thought that we were friends in real life or whatever. That's just like a thing where like I've dated somebody in the paranormal field and is, I guess, higher up in the community, and we didn't have a good experience. Though at Para Unity, he seemed to have had amnesia and was telling everybody we were friends in real life. And I was just like, at this point, I'm just trying to enjoy my time, homie. Like,
yeah, I know. And like,
so don't think it's like people are like coming up to us and they're like, oh, we think that they think that they're our friends or some shit. It wasn't that. It kind of sounded like that.
It kind of did sound like that.
Yeah, so it wasn't like that.
It wasn't like that. But no, we met, great people at Para Unity, and and so as we go forth and we do this podcast, I hope that, you'll listen to our evidence, you'll
Mhm.
join us on our investigations, you'll join us on our lives on social media.
Give us input.
Give
If
us
you are
input.
local and are
Yeah.
interested in
Being on the podcast.
being on the podcast, if you're interested in getting started in the paranormal field, um, we will be bringing people in and
Yeah.
hopefully doing events and inviting friends, family, new friends, watchers, followers to come investigate with us. Um, just so you have an in the field and can
Yeah.
enjoy the passion as well.
And also, to bring those people on here to talk about, their experiences for a first investigation or a fifth investigation, or, what's the difference between going on an independent investigation
Yep.
versus going with a team? Like, what
Yep.
have their experiences been? And I will say for myself that for the most part, you know, being on a team is great. I had great times on my first team that I was on. Like,
Yeah.
I really did. I learned a lot from a lot of people. I met a lot of people
Mhm.
through that. And,
Not
you
all
know,
teams are bad.
not all teams are
Mhm.
bad. And hopefully in talking about some of the issues that we see, we can maybe give somebody insight into how two people who've been in this field for a really long time sort of think about these things, how we're perceiving these sorts of things, like talking over women.
How you can identify these things if you choose to join a team, things to look out for. But
And
also don't
yeah.
not to scare you away, but to bring you back in if you are already in the community and have had bad experiences and you have the ick
Yeah.
towards the community just due to things that you've been through. Hopefully we can relight that spark for you too.
Yeah, I think so. So, anything else that we want to add for episode 1 of the Salem Supernatural
No, I
Society?
think that that's it. Thanks
Yeah.
for, watching and listening. We're really excited about this, and hopefully you guys are too.
Hopefully you are. So, of course, you can follow us on Salem Supernatural Society is our
Mhm.
Instagram handle. The Facebook should be up as well, Salem Supernatural Society. You can follow us on our YouTube channel,
Yep.
and the podcast will be uploaded always on both YouTube and then the audio on Spotify, iTunes, Good Pods, wherever you
Mhm.
can find those various things. And again, I'm Kristen.
I'm Michaela.
Thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you soon.